Why Nations Fail. Hello friends, I am Naveed Hussain and today we are going to discuss the topic, Why Nations Fail, based on the book by Darren Acemoglu and James Robinson. In their book, the authors argue that the success or failure of a nation is largely determined by its political and economic institutions. According to the authors, there are two types of institutions that shape a nation's destiny: inclusive institutions and extractive institutions. Inclusive institutions are those that encourage participation and allow for economic growth and innovation. These institutions are characterized by property rights, the rule of law, free and fair elections, and a strong civil society. In contrast, extractive institutions concentrate power and wealth in the hands of a few at the expense of the many. These institutions are characterized by corruption, a lack of property rights, weak or non-existent rule of law, and limited political freedoms. The authors argue that inclusive institutions are the key to a nation's success. When institutions are inclusive, people are empowered to pursue their own interests and contribute to the economy. This leads to economic growth, innovation, and greater prosperity for all. Inclusive institutions also encourage political competition, which helps to ensure that leaders are held accountable and that policies reflect the needs and desires of the people. In contrast, extractive institutions stifle economic and political competition, which leads to poverty, instability, and a lack of innovation. When institutions are extractive, only a small elite benefit, while the majority of the population is left behind. This leads to social unrest and instability, which can further exacerbate poverty and underdevelopment. The authors also argue that the path a nation takes is largely determined by the choices made by its leaders and citizens. Inclusive institutions arise when a society's elites recognize that it is in their own self-interest to create them. Extractive institutions, on the other hand, are often maintained by elites who use their power to block economic and political competition and preserve their own wealth and status. In conclusion, the book, Why Nations Fail, provides a compelling argument that a nation's success or failure is largely determined by its political and economic institutions. Inclusive institutions are the key to a nation's success, while extractive institutions lead to poverty, instability, and underdevelopment. The authors argue that the choices made by leaders and citizens play a crucial role in shaping a nation's destiny, and that creating inclusive institutions is the key to unlocking a nation's potential. Thank you for listening.